Hey guys, this is Raz Shaver with My Campaign Coach. I'm hoping you guys can hear me well because I am just trying out this new microphone setup and everything. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I got to spend most of that time down at my ranch with my parents, or my parents' ranch, with the dogs and family. Get to go a little bit of hunting and saw plenty of deer, but didn't actually shoot anything because they're all a little bit too small. But we're back in the saddle this week, and we're pretty stoked. So what we're doing is this week we got a new podcast coming out with Gabby Hoffman that we're going to be running through, and I'll give you guys a little preview of that and some of the resources that we talk about. Hey John, thanks for joining. Can you guys hear me all right? I'm trying out a new mic. Hopefully you guys can. Right now, what I want to go over today is I want to start by talking about this new studio setup that I got. We're going to be doing a lot more videos through through Facebook Live, as well as recorded stuff for the courses that we're putting out. And thanks, John. I appreciate it. Glad we're coming through loud and clear. So we got this audio set up. I've got the new microphone. I've actually got a teleprompter that the iPad is sitting on right now and is going to check out. I'll show you guys. My office is a mess, but I'll show you guys here in just a second. And I got a pretty sweet little kit from, it's a pretty sweet little kit. I think it's Limo Studio or Limo Lighting, something like that, on Amazon, with this 4-piece lighting kit and the backdrop and everything. So I'm going to take a quick second to show this to you guys. So let's get turn around here. So I've got my backdrop. I've got some clamps and everything to set that sucker up from Home Depot. I got a couple of different the umbrella stands, a couple soft boxes, and this is actually my teleprompter. It works with a pretty cool app that I'll talk a little bit about later. Let's get it set back up here. So I'm pretty stoked about it. We have only cut a couple of videos and none of them have been published yet. So this is the first time I'm getting to use it. I set it up last night and we're having fun with it. Beyond that, I want to next talk about the Gabby Hoffman podcast interview. So we've posted enough podcasts this month and just getting started and getting some extra content up that we blew past multiple subscription levels for our hosting service. So we're going to have to publish Gabby's podcast, not tomorrow, but on Thursday when it rolls over to the new month. So I'm going to be a little bit later than I wanted to on posting that podcast, but it's worth waiting for, and you guys are going to love it. I actually got the post and everything finalized today and did all the editing, and it's going to be really good. So if you haven't checked out Gabby and the work that she's doing, subscribe to her newsletter, all that stuff. Go to gabriellehoffman.com, and you'll be able to check that out. We're going to be promoting that some more this week, and there's actually going to be a couple blog posts that I'm going to put out as a result of that with some more of the follow-on information. But what that really got me thinking about today was just some of the resources that I use a lot at My Campaign Coach, and some of the things that I think that campaigns and campaign managers and just anybody interested in being involved with social media and having a good web presence should be checking out. And so we talk about some of the in the podcast this week, but I wanted to share a little bit more about what I use as well. So first of all, Gabby made a really good point talking about what you need to actually be on if you're a campaign working with social media. And we've got a blog post that we put up a few weeks ago talking about what people need to, or actually the stats as far as where people are at, as far as the user base and who's growing, who's not when it comes to social media networks. And Facebook is absolutely the king out there. The other ones that you may want to be on are Twitter and Instagram. Those are kind of the top 3 right now, and they're really the easiest for folks to actually get involved with. The biggest thing you want to avoid is not being spread too thin. You don't want to be in more places than you can actually have quality content and high engagement, because you don't want to have just something that you're sort of involved on and then not actually play the field or play to your depth on the important ones. One of the interesting things from that study was that the vast majority of people that are on Twitter and on Instagram and all these other networks are also on Facebook. So it really gives you an opportunity not to hit a new audience, but really to just drive depth, touch them in new ways, and meet them through other types of content. So view it through that lens, and that'll be very helpful. But when you're using Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it then comes up, okay, so what do I use to manage those? Do I use the native apps? Do I use their own websites, or what do I use? For me, I use Tweetbot as far as on my iPhone and iPad. Beyond that, I use tools. I use personally Buffer I've used Hootsuite some. I know Gabby talks a lot about, she uses Hootsuite a lot and has used Social Sprout. And those are the ones that I use to manage my individual feeds. I have a bunch of different social feeds that I manage, from my personal LinkedIn, my business pages, my personal page, my personal business Twitter. So that allows me to plug in all those, to customize the different all the different posts and links and everything, to track all that, all my metrics, and then to actually be able to go and schedule that content so that it's I can put it in the feed at any point, but it's going to go out at scheduled points throughout my day or throughout my week. So that helps me make sure that my social feeds are always active, that I don't have big lapses in content there. And their plugins let you be able to find stuff. You're reading the article, just click up there in the top corner on Chrome or whatever extension you're using, whatever browser you're on, and you'll be able to put that right in your queue very easily. So you're not having to do a whole lot of jumping around between apps or windows. The two resources that one that I'm using and one that I'm going to check out for creating images and shareable stuff, as far as like pictures, graphics, memes. What I use for those is actually Canva, and it's canva.com, C-A-N-V-A. And what I do is I actually will develop a lot of stuff in there, from header graphics for my blog post to images for the social sharing, all kinds of stuff. And what's really cool about it is, even on the free side, you can do all kinds of different images as far as the sizes, the dimensions, which is really important when you're working to optimize your images for different types of, or different mediums, different platforms. For instance, with the Before You Run for Office 70 Easy Questions post that we put out last week, that I had to design like 6 or 7 different sizes of images. And so, but it was really easy for me to keep my theme consistent throughout all of that, because I was using a lot of different, I was using the same fonts, I was using the same image parts, and I could copy and paste those between them, and I was able to make the exact image fit for whatever medium I had. So from the Resurgent post to my Facebook to Twitter to the blog header, all that stuff, it was custom done through Canva. And so I really like it. They do have a lot of free resources that you can have as far as so graphics, icons, those kind of things. And then you can be part of their paid plan to have access to a little bit more stuff. What I'm going to be checking out sometime soon, though, is Adobe's Elements, their program. And this is, I think most of us are at least familiar in name with Adobe Photoshop and that suite of tools. And back in the day, it was tons of money, and it was cost prohibitive for a lot of people to get access to that and be able to use it. And what they've done is they've gone to more of a SaaS platform, software as a service, and a subscription model. And so for really cheap, you can actually get their Adobe Elements platform and pull in a lot of information as far as from video editing to Illustrator to Photoshop and all kinds of different stuff. All of their stuff, you can pull that in for a pretty low monthly rate. I believe it was like $40 or $50 a month, which for design software is incredibly cheap. So I'm probably actually going to be checking that out, because I'm going to be, I'm doing the podcast editing, I'm going to be doing more video editing, and I've got all this other stuff I got to do as well. So I'm going to be checking it out soon, and I'll have more to report on. Hey, Destin, it's good to have you on, man. Beyond that, the next thing that Gabby and I talked about in the podcast was looking at blogs, because social media is such a rapidly changing environment. Everything every day changes. Facebook changes the dimensions for their pictures, and everything seems to be changing on nearly a daily basis. So with that, I don't have time, and neither do you have time, to stay on top of all those details. But the good news is there's a lot of resources out there, blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, that these guys do the research and make it easy for us to really digest a lot of that. So there are a whole lot of blogs that I follow just in my RSS feed. I actually use Feedly.com is the tool that I use for my RSS feeds. And through those, what we do is we actually pull in all these, but if I go to a blog and I like what I see, I copy that URL over into Feedly and I save it. And every day or every couple days when I go to check my feeds, it has all the new articles from those blogs pulled in there. And so I have stuff like HubSpot, Buffer, Hootsuite, Digiday, Social Media Examiner, Yoast, Thrive Themes, and a bunch of others that all their feeds, all their blogs come to me on a daily basis. Whenever they're published, they push out to me, and so I go and get it. And so it works really well to keep me up to date and make sure I can just scan through those and find the ones that are interesting to me without getting bogged down in a lot of the other details. I'll be posting some blog articles in the near future with some more details and links to those. But a couple of notes on as well on what we use through our website. So the plugins, in our case, we use WordPress as the back end for our website. That's what we have it all built on. And I use Thrive Themes as they're the people that supply the theme that we use to build our site. And I highly recommend them. They have a lot of different themes, many of which will work well you can customize those for political campaigns and for blogs, anything else you can think of. They're very easily customizable. But one of the nice things about WordPress is that it's been around for so long and it is so open source that there are a lot of people that have come up with great ideas for plugins. So for instance, Yoast, I mentioned that as far as a blog, they are a giant in the SEO community, so search engine optimization. And what you can do through that, through their plugin as well as through their blog, is find out more about how you can help get people's eyeballs on your content. So in my case, I want people to find out about our campaign coaching, the stuff we're giving away, the courses that we have and we offer to people. And the only way people do that is if Google likes me. So I'm going to be creating a lot more information, a lot more content out there focused through what Yoast offers to help people find me. So they do some really cool stuff, even through just their free program. And it does stuff like it grades my writing. So when I put up a blog post, it grades all kinds of stuff. And it tells me, hey, you're having too much passive voice here, or you need to include your keywords more often throughout this deal, or hey, you need more subheadings to keep people's attention. And it's really impressive, and I've just been using it for a couple days, but I'm absolutely hooked on it. The next one is Blueberry. It's BLUBRRY. That is what we use for our podcasting. I'm able to upload directly through my WordPress. I'm able to create a new podcast episode just by making a new post and by uploading the WordPress or the podcast media. I upload that to the Blueberry website. I link it through my post, and it's really easy to create a new podcast episode. It feeds it over to iTunes, takes care of all that work for me, and it makes just the whole process very easy. They have multiple different packages as far as how much bandwidth you need, as far as uploading new files. In my case, I started out thinking I would do about 100 megs, and I blew past that, so I paid for the 250, and I've blown past that, so I'm going to wait till Thursday to send out Gabby's episode. The next one is Simple Social. This is actually one I'm trying out today that I got some high recommendations on from some friends of mine. And what this does is it allows you to take your Facebook Live videos, like the one I'm doing now, and turn this into actual posts on your WordPress site. So when I'm done with this, it's going to automatically save, and Simple Social Press is going to push that over and save it as a draft of a blog post on my website. And so then I'm going to go over there and I'm play around with it, and I'm going to customize it, and I'm going to save it over there so that folks can not only see this through my Facebook site, but they can also go and they can view it on the My Campaign Coach website as well. So I haven't got to check it out, but hopefully you'll be able to go check out the My Campaign Coach website and see what you think of it. The next one is Thrive Themes. I mentioned them. They're the people that we use for our website, but they have a really cool suite of plugins they have, from Thrive Ovation, which is really cool for sharing endorsements or sharing good things people are saying about your products or your campaign. You can have all kinds of stuff from light boxes and lead generation to conversion tools to get sign-ups for email address. It's just an amazing suite of tools that I haven't even scratched the surface on, but I'm a big fan of so far. The last two are Google Analytics by Monster Insights. That's a pretty cool tool to be able to pull a lot of information within the back end of your site from Google Analytics. And then lastly is called TinyPNG. This allows you to help optimize a lot of your images that you upload to help speed up your website's your load time. So for me, I know I'm uploading a ton of images, and depending on the use, they don't need to be really huge. They can be kind of small. So TinyPNG gives you a free ability throughout the month to upload and optimize a certain number of images. And then if you want more, you can pay for it. But I know for me, with uploading a lot of images and having a very image-heavy website, it was really bogging down my load time. And so I tried to fix that. And for a lot of campaigns, that's really a problem as well, because you want to have very nice, flashy graphics and be able to show people, give them a clear picture of who you are and what you're doing. Guys, I think that's about it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to throw them up there in the chat, and I will answer them. But I'm just really excited. It's good to be back from Thanksgiving and have this kind of crunch time between Thanksgiving and Christmas when we get to really crank out a lot of content. I've got several more podcasts we've already got recorded. We'll be releasing next few weeks. This week is Gabby Hoffman. Next week will be Representative Matt Krause, who's a good friend of mine that's done training with us for a number of years and is an absolute rock star in the State House. Then beyond that, who do we have? Oh, we have my buddy Aaron Harris. So Aaron's going to be on with us the week after that. And then I think that'll be about it for this year. We'll take a break for Christmas, and we'll be back in January. So I thank you guys for checking us out. And don't forget to go to MyCampaignCoach.Chime and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on iTunes, and make sure you're also signing up for our email updates. We're going to be starting our weekly email program this week. I promise it's going to happen. I've been pushing that off forever, and I need to get that going. But we'll be sending out weekly updates with information we find around the web that pertains to campaigns, all kinds of stuff that you can do to make your campaign stronger, as well as updates about our courses and our content that we're putting out there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to send us questions if you got them. Adios.